Welcome back to America Trends. Hey, did you know 2.3 million people get married every year in the United States? And that breaks down to about 6,200 weddings every day. So that's a lot of etiquette to take care of. Here on America Trends tonight, we have back our friend of the show, who is a purveyor of manners, Maryanne Parker. And there's her beautiful website where she has speaking engagements, her book, Posh Overnight. And I understand, Maryanne, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
I understand you also do group settings where people can hire you in and you give wonderful talks.
Yeah, actually I do, yes. I would like to spread the civility in business and in social environments, so
yes,
that's
please,
why I do
need
that. Thank you.
That's wonderful. So we're talking wedding etiquette, and what is the first thing you think of when you think of a proper wedding?
Well, how you mentioned, there's so many people being so anxious to get married and they're so excited, and for them to have the best wedding ever, they have to follow certain rules. So we want to talk about being the gracious host. And what do you do? So you have to send invitations. Usually the invitations should be sent between 8 to 10 weeks before the wedding. But if you decide to send cards as a save the date card,
save the dates, which everybody does now. It's a whole other element, right?
This is a very different issue, very different situation. The save the date is very different than the invitation, because the save the date, you can actually send it maybe even 8 months in advance, because remember that some of the people might be out of the country, they might be in a different state or in a different city, so they need to prepare, because being to a wedding takes a lot of preparation. You need to probably purchase your ticket, you need to request time off from work and buying the gift, so it's not that easy. Also, when you RSVP, when you send in the invitations, you always have to send a little note, which is going to be the response card for the people, to be convenient for them to respond and RSVP. So how this happens, you send the response card with the envelope, with your address, and you purchase the stamp as well. So this is the way you send it. But for you to make sure that everybody RSVP, you have to keep track at least 3 weeks in advance, because a lot of people might not even RSVP, because this is becoming a really serious issue. They just assume that if you invited them, they might attend or they might not attend. So this is really a big issue. Also about the invitations, I wanted to let you know that when you send invitations, they should correspond the formality of the wedding. Because if the invitations are very, very pretty, letterpressed with some beautiful calligraphy, it means that the wedding is really formal.
So does that tell me what I should wear?
You always have to indicate what is going to be the dress code on the bottom right side, but at the same time, not necessarily the invitation is going to introduce what you have to wear. You need to indicate it on the invitation. So usually if we're in San Diego, we have beach weddings, so obviously you cannot really wear tuxedo on a beach wedding. So you have to be really mindful, very, very cautious about that.
There's everything from grand resorts to the beach, so it is very imperative that we know what to wear.
Yes, it's very important.
And also, you say just 2 months or so for the invitation, so I'm so glad you're with us now, because a lot of the weddings you always hear June brides, summer weddings, so now's the time when brides need to know this. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, also, especially when you're sending the thank you notes when you receive the gifts, because they're going to be gifts for your wedding.
Oh, there are.
Yes.
Yay.
Oh, I just want to make sure that everybody is aware the register never goes with the invitation. You don't advise people to buy anything for you on the invitation.
That's interesting. So we're talking wedding gifts, of course, and you always bring a gift to a wedding or send it ahead of time.
Yes.
And I don't know, with the past several decades, all of a sudden registry came into play. So it's not just bring me a gift, it's and here's what I want. Is that proper etiquette in the first place?
Well, it's not really traditional, obviously, but it's becoming very trendy, and a lot of people follow this rule. So what you can do, if you don't really want to be part of it, you can definitely give a check or cash or something like that. Or if there is something indicated on the register that you saw in a different store, perhaps you can purchase it from there, and you can phone the register, or you can let them know in advance that you already purchased that, because you don't want somebody to come with the same gift. So this is important as well.
If I have something I really want to say make from the heart for the bride and groom, is that wrong? Because then you think, oh, there's a registry, there's things they want. Should I feel bad about giving a gift that's really...
No, I think that this is actually very, very thoughtful. And if this is a close friend of yours or is a part of your family, they'll appreciate your gift even more because it's from the heart. So I actually think that those are the best gifts because everything else could be purchased, but if it's homemade or handmade, it's much more appreciated.
So, and also to talk about, we talked about make sure you RSVP because it's not just, it's not an open party. That bride and groom have paid a lot of money for each plate.
Yes.
So that also brings up the issue of kids.
Yes.
It's a big no-no to bring kids unless they say, absolutely, bring children, and here's...
They'll let you know who is allowed to the wedding, because some weddings are really large, some weddings are not. They're more intimate, they don't allow kids for various reasons. But they will let you know on the invitation, the indication is your name and the person who you can bring. So if they don't invite your children or somebody else who you want to bring, probably is not a good etiquette for you to bring this person. Also, if you're in a relationship but you're not married, you should be between in a relationship for 6 to 1 year. The people should be aware of your partner for you to bring it. So you can't just bring random people who are not introduced.
For the guests, that's
Yes.
interesting. And we probably should not, is it true we shouldn't wear white? The bride wears white, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. We want the bride to be the shining star of the wedding because this is her day.
A third of the people, it's estimated, who are getting married have been married before. And if the bride still wants to wear white, that's okay?
That's okay in certain situations, but many brides prefer not to. Or depends very much on the previous wedding. Probably she didn't wear white on the previous wedding, and she really insists to wear white on the second wedding. So this is very personal choice.
Sometimes they do a smaller one, and then later when they have more funds, they say, I really want that big wedding I missed.
Yes, this is exactly how it is.
The average number of guests invited to a wedding is 178. Some more stats. The average age of a bride is 25.3 years old. The average age of a groom is 27. So a lot of people are still in their 20s getting married and deciding what size from there. I want to ask you, in all the time you've been doing manners, what's the strangest thing you've seen at a wedding or that you've heard of that makes you say, that might be a no-no, according to Maryanne?
Well, you know, I believe that the wedding is a beautiful event, but some people take it they become very excited and they don't really limit their drinks. So I've seen a lot of this.
Point.
So you don't want to embarrass yourself because there's going to be so many videos, so many pictures, and it's something really precious. So I personally don't like that. You have to really be careful every single time you're attending a wedding because they'll remember you for this particular wedding.
If you're not the bride or groom, you don't want to be the star of that wedding video.
You don't want to be. No.
Okay, so tell us your website again.
Mannerofmanners.com.
Mannerofmanners.com. Maryanne Parker. And I want to talk with you a little bit about travel etiquette as we head into spring break and things. So we're going to hold you over for that, okay?
Thank you, yes.
Okay, and we'll be right back on America Trends talking to Maryanne Parker with her company, The Manner of Manners. Thanks for being with us on America Trends. We're back after this.